Good morning, Tottenham fans. I've been speaking to a lot of Spurs fans in the last couple of days, and they seem to be a little bit more positive, a little bit more upbeat. I think it's the news that the players are coming back, and we're getting a chance to have a bit of a rest. So maybe things can turn around. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. Can Tottenham's season be turned around, and starting at Man United? Now, first of all, we have to realize that these players that are coming back are going to be fit to play, but they're not going to be match fit. So there's not going to be a massive transition in our performance, but I'm hoping that the rest we've had for the week is going to give us that more intensity, more fight, more pressing, more chances at goal. And I'm assuming this will happen with a bit of rest, but I think it's still going to take a little bit of time to wean back into it. But as we get more and more players back, the more chance of rotation, the injured players coming back, getting match fit, then yes, I think this season can slowly turn around. If we start picking up some more points in the league, and when the Europa League comes around in March, we should have quite a few players back, touch wood that no more get injured, and we can really go for that Europa League, because the Europa League is a winnable competition. But not only that, we've now added depth to our Europa League squad. We've taken out Werner, Dragushin, but we've replaced them with Danso and Tell, and we've even Spence in there now. So we've got two defenders in there. We've got Romero, Van de Ven will be in it, Udogi, Porro. So hopefully, if players can stay fit, we can have a good run at that and we can turn things around. So now we're looking at this weekend against Manchester United. That's the start. We're at home. I'm hoping that will make a difference. I'm hoping that the fans will get behind them protest, which is fair enough. I think they're doing it at the end of the game. They're going to cheer on the fans all the way through cheer on the players all the way through the game, which is good. But the players need a lot of support. We need to show them that we're still here for them. We don't want to turn our backs on them just because they're losing. Support means support. You know, you don't just support when you're winning, because the whole thing would be pointless. You're not a supporter then, you're just a fan. So going into this game, both managers are under pressure. Man United have changed their manager halfway through the season in the hope that it would turn around their fortunes. But unfortunately for them, Almarim's come in and he's lost many, many games. He's still adapting to the Premier League. I'm sure he will get it right. I still rate him as a manager, and I still think eventually he'll get it right, but I don't want him to get it right this weekend. Ange Postecoglou is under pressure too, because a lot of people are calling for his head because of the amount of losses we've had. It still frustrates me that the losses are never put into context, and people keep saying you can't keep using injuries as an excuse. But I'll give you another example of another team. Arsenal now are having a meltdown because they've lost their forward players, and they're now saying the league's over, we can't win the league, and this sort of thing. So if they're saying that, just losing forward players, try losing your defense as well, and on top of that, your reserve defenders and your goalkeeper and one of your midfielders being out with a suspension for 7 games, and another one of your players off 2 months with an illness, and then tell me you're in a crisis. Because at the moment, Arsenal have just lost a few forward players and they're having a meltdown. But there's no media bias saying that their training is poor. That's why all these injuries are happening. Arteta's tactics overuse players. There's none of this. None of this. So, you know, Spurs need to get themselves back on track. And I think they will. I honestly think we are going to see more intensity this weekend after a long rest from the players that have been playing week in, week out for 2.5 months because they've had a rest. I don't expect the players that are coming back from injury to come straight in. I think they're going to get 20 minutes at the end. But for me, bringing that little bit of quality for 20 minutes is going to massively help for when we tire towards the end of the game, because the players on the pitch will know that they can give their all and they can get a rest at the end of it. For the last couple of months, they've been giving their all and knowing that they can't get a rest. So they're going to be subbed. They're going to be subbed off, and anybody that's tired will be subbed, and it will refresh the midfield, refresh maybe the wing backs or something like that. So yeah, it's looking a bit brighter. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel now, or is there another oncoming train, as Ange Postecoglou would say? I'm hoping there's light at the end of the tunnel. I'm hoping we can keep players fit now. I'm hoping we can push on. If we see Spurs dominating against Man United, causing creating chances, and you know, and just putting up a big fight and being the side we know we can be, but we still don't end up winning the game. Say we draw or something, which would be terrible. In my opinion, I really think we should go for this win this weekend. But if we did end up drawing, I then don't want to hear, see, you had all your best players and now you didn't win, because we haven't got all our best players for a start. And plus, like I said, those players coming back need to have time to get back. Some players take 2, 3, 4 games to get back to the levels they were before. So I'm not expecting a massive change, but I am expecting a lot better performance this weekend. And I really think we will get that. And Man United are not exactly, in a good place themselves. They are massively struggling. Almirim is really under pressure, and he's only been there for not even for a quarter of a season. So, you can change your manager, but it doesn't change the outcome sometimes. So, we can call for people's heads all you want, but it doesn't mean it's 100% going to change. We've changed managers year on year on year on year, and it's not worked. Let's just follow a process for once. At least give him to the end of the season to see what he can produce for us. And if we rise up the table with better players and a bigger squad and go deep into the Europa League, then I'm sure a few Angelos would be like, well, maybe it was the injuries, But obviously, if we carry on with really poor performances, hardly having any shots on target, not putting away any chances, no fight and things like that. And if that carries on, because, if energy levels seem really low still, it'd be hard to defend. But at the moment, to me, it's very obvious that if you've only got 13 players playing in 4 competitions, 2 times a week, it's obvious that you're not going to get many results from that. And I don't care what team you are. I don't care if you're Arsenal, City, Liverpool. If Liverpool had all those injuries, like this is the argument. I'll give you one. Last season, Eddie Howe had lots of injuries, yeah? And everyone said, yeah, well, he finished 7th. But when he was going through the injury crisis, by the way, he was 13th in the league. We're 14th right now. And when he got his players back, he rose them to 7th because, in my opinion, Eddie Howe's a really good manager. But all the Newcastle fans were calling for his head, ignoring the fact of all the injuries, telling everybody that he doesn't know what he's doing. Fast forward a year, he's in a cup final now. His team are playing some fantastic football, and they're a very, very good side, and with the same manager. So we can't ignore context when a manager has to go through this sort of thing. So anyway, I just think that we can turn this season around. I'm a lot of Spurs fans I'm talking to are very upbeat about it. They understand that, once you start getting players back, start getting bits of rest here and there, things can turn around. Once we can rotate as well for the Europa League, we could be fresh for Europa League games too, which is really going to help. And we could go very deep into that competition. There's no one in that competition we can't beat. So let me know in the comments what you think of this today, and just let me know if you are more upbeat now, or are you still the same and you just want change now. Let me know in the comments what you think, and come on, you Spurs.